Welcome to another episode of The Script is Better. Hello, Beck.
Hello, John.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Excited to talk about the script.
Excited to talk about shock treatment.
Yeah. What's shock treatment for the listeners?
Well, shock treatment is a form of, I think... okay. Shock treatment is a musical by the same writer, director, and actor from Rocky Horror Picture Show. For some reason, I don't have his name written down.
His name is Richard O'Brien.
So Richard O'Brien, thank you. That's great. So he acted in the first film, like I said.
As who?
He played the manservant in the first film. You know, the guy with the long hair who iconically sung Time Warp?
Yes.
With the maid, who is also in the film as well. Magenta, yeah. She was really cool in that film.
Mm.
So we've got those two characters returning for this, but Shock Treatment, it is kind of like a spiritual sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. It features Brad and Janet on a new adventure, but in a very different place, and they never even reference Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's just a completely different story, but it's further along in their marriage.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool.
And hopefully it is. So, Beck, what did you think about Shock Treatment? Initial opinions?
I was just so confused, and because of the confusion, I did not enjoy it. So I understand that the premise of the movie is that they are in kind of like a surreal TV set where they're stuck in a TV show or multiple TV shows, like on this soundstage. Let's say they're stuck in this soundstage. Mm-hmm. And it's called Dentonvale, and they just go between TV shows and somehow kind of get lost. They lose themselves, and they're manipulated into doing things that they don't want to do by way of just the sheer, I don't know, distraction and excitement of the characters in that world. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I get that that's the thing, I guess. It took me a long time to figure out that that was the thing. And then I didn't really get why, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the songs, especially I'm Glad to Be a Man or Thank God I'm a Man.
That was a weird one. I don't know why it was in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because, if we can talk about just the director, Richard O'Brien, he wrote the script, and I don't think he's trans necessarily, but I know he cross-dresses. I think that's, a lot of Rocky Horror Picture Show comes from him and his interests, right? Mm. So I know that he's interested in that entire world. So it just makes me wonder what that song was supposed to be about. I was reading the same thing you were, and I was just wondering, is this supposed to be a comment on something? Is it just are we supposed to be making a comment on this character, on these kind of people in real life? If so, it just didn't seem to come out of anywhere. It just was there. He just sang that song, and I don't know why he sang that song, because it seemed to have nothing to do with the scene that came before or anything that came after. So I was really confused about it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I have a feeling, just knowing from where he came from, I have a feeling that he had a purpose for it, and maybe we just don't get that. It doesn't come across, at least on the script.
So I did a little bit of reading afterwards because I just wanted to know, I don't know, the genesis. I just wanted to see if I could find some answers to just the huge question mark after I had finished the script. And one of the things is that the script started as a sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show called Rocky Horror Shows His Heels. And it found Frank and Rocky resurrected, Brad and Scott turned gay, and Janet on the verge of giving birth to Frank's baby.
Right.
So that was all what this was supposed to be. But then Tim Curry didn't want to be involved, and a few other things happened. So they turned that script into the Brad and Janet show, which was a little bit different than this script. And then they didn't have enough money to make that script. And that script was going to be set in Denton, USA, the actual place. And since they didn't have enough money to make that script, the production designer, I believe, was you know what? Let's just set it all on a soundstage and rework the story so that it all makes sense on a soundstage. So it was rewritten for that space. So Tim Curry was written out the first time, and then it was rewritten for the setting. But craziness, they kept the original songs that they had written for the Tim Curry version. So I feel like Thank God I'm a Man has some sort of story in that script. And they were like, we'll just figure it out. Like, if Brad was gay in that one, maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was like, thank God I'm a man, like just excited about, I don't know, being gay.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I'd have to actually go through the lyrics again, just in that context. If you wanted to look at it in that context, I have to read the lyrics again to see if it fit, but that is definitely entirely possible. At least it explains why that song's in there and why it just seems to come out of nowhere in this script.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of talking about things that we didn't like so much about the script. So why don't we continue along those lines? Is there anything else you didn't like about the script beyond like the general confusion of it?
So sometimes they would rhyme out of song and sometimes they wouldn't. And I was like, can you just establish a pattern? Like, I wasn't sure if the whole thing was supposed to be like a Shakespearean thing where, like, if he doesn't iambic pentameter, it's throughout the whole thing. He doesn't just stop. So like, why are you guys starting and stopping? It was weird. I didn't see a reason for it to start or stop at any time. It just kind of did. I was like, oh, okay, now we're rhyming and now we're not. I would say that that's the two main things that I didn't like. Confusion and lack of consistency. What about you?
I think that this falls into the confusion area, and I think it also falls into the script rework area. It's that Brad had a brother that we didn't know about that was behind everything. That's like the big reveal at the end, that the guy who runs Dentonville is Brad's twin brother.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but there's no setup for that. And it just comes out of nowhere at the very end. It just seems like maybe that was a big part of the story at one point, thinking about your script rework comments. So maybe that was a big thing in the previous two scripts. And now it's just like, oh, and look, they're twins.
Yeah. Originally, so that there's another part of that they weren't supposed to be twins. It was supposed to be Tim Curry was Farley and Barry Bostwick was Brad again. But Barry Bostwick couldn't come back because he was like committed to something else. And so Tim Curry was like, I'm not going to play Farley and Brad as twins because I can't do a convincing American accent. So I'm just out.
Okay. So they did that. Great.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. It's all very strange.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've said what we didn't like about the script. Is there anything that you enjoyed about Shock Treatment?
I mean, if any of the commentary on like being sucked into a television program or just TV in general and kind of like losing yourself in it, if any of that is intentional, then I enjoyed that.
I think, especially with the song Bitchin' in the Kitchen.
Right.
I think the song...
Classic.
Yeah. I think that song especially made me think of Fight Club and their commentary about how we're obsessed with objects and we identify with objects. Because in that song, he's looking to the different objects to provide, I think, psychological help to him or like reassurance. And so it really made me feel like it was like a Fight Club before Fight Club.
Ooh, huge.
Yeah. So hopefully that comes across in the film, or maybe that wasn't what they were going for.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes... I didn't understand that part, but oh man, you found the meaning. Yeah, the first line, oh Blender, won't you help a first offender? For sure. He is looking for meaning and all that stuff. Cool. Mm-hmm. Said it once and I'll say it again. A classic.
It used to be played on the radio all the time. Bitchin' in the Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one other thing I liked about the script was there was a note about Bert. Bert's a German blind... I think he's a psychiatrist. Was he a psychiatrist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a German blind psychiatrist. Apparently blind. And in the script, they actually write his dialogue in phonetics as if he has a German accent for the first few lines. And then they just make a note that they're going to discontinue writing this way, and they're just going to write like he's speaking plain English, but the actor should continue speaking as if it's phonetics. And so I thought that was just a cool thing to see in the script.
Yeah. Oh, and my mistake, he's not a psychiatrist. He is only a talk show host.
Well, in the end, he's a con man because he's
Yes.
not really blind.
Yes.
Yeah. So is there anything else you kind of liked about it?
I have a question about that though. Okay, so
Sure.
he's not really blind. Did he get healed by somebody and I just missed it?
No.
Okay.
No, that was another like TV thing where they were pretending he got healed by somebody, but really he's just been a con man the entire time.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, because I think Janet revealed that he was not blind, or somebody revealed he was not blind, and then they're just like, oh, he got healed.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a fun little bit.
Super fun.
Oh, one other thing that I liked is just the whole reason Janet and Brad are going to psychiatry, or going to go get this psychiatry done, is because Janet thinks that Brad is boring.
I know.
It's just so good.
I mean, he is a little boring, but
Yeah.
that's what she says. I don't think he needs this like extreme treatment.
Yeah. And to be fair to her, she does back off. She's like, no, what are you doing with my husband? And she tries to see him the rest of the time, but she does put him away for being boring.
She goes along with the story because they continuously drug her, right?
They continuously drug her and manipulate her, telling her that I think his problems with her is her not having problems with him. I don't know what they exactly say, but they were making it out to be like, if she acts the way that they want her to act, that'll be good for him.
Yeah. And it is like, so she gets a makeover throughout the script. And it is kind of like, if you make yourself prettier, it'll be good for your marriage as well, which is like not a great message. So just add that to the didn't like pile.
No, yeah, that's fair. One thing is, I think that any script would have suffered in our reading just from the fact that it came after Jennifer's Body, which just blew me away. I think that this one, just when I was reading it, I couldn't visualize anything fully, even though I've seen clips of it on YouTube. I've seen some of the songs, so I know the characters. I still couldn't visualize it the way that just reading one sentence off of Jennifer's Body, you could like completely envision that world.
Absolutely. But are you saying that had this been our second script after Seven Samurai, our third script, it might have been okay?
I'm not saying that it would have been okay. I'm just saying that it would have been better than it is.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, we would have been less critical of it, maybe. Even though our criticals are like, we have 3 or 4 points that were critical, but it's just so confusing.
Yeah. I just pulled up the lyrics part of the Thank God I'm a Man song because I had highlighted some of it. And just like, a man should wax a car, fix a fuse, and tend a bar. A man should like his brow to be wet with sweat. Okay, sure. That's a like archaic description of what a man should be. Fine. But then a man should know the settings that his sparking plugs get. And then just randomly straight into faggots or maggots. Thank God I'm a man. I'm sorry, what? Where did the maggots line come from? Like, you're just describing all of this stuff that is like kind of manly fine. And then like you could just go from there to thank God I'm a man. You didn't need that homophobic like line. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm sure it fits better in whatever the film was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Maybe that was actually a song for Brad, and maybe he's wrestling with who he is.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what I envision as a man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be better, but instead it's just a dad who doesn't like gay people.
Yeah, just, okay, cool. Great. Oh, so I know that, yes, there are a lot of problems in the script, and just the general confusion might make us maybe like skirt over that, but there is one thing that I noticed just on a second pass this morning. One thing, I have no idea what the Faith Factory set is. Like, I don't understand what Faith Factory, the show, is. And that's the show that they're, like, trying to reveal at the end of it. That's the one that Janet is being groomed for. But I don't understand the concept of that show at all. But on that set, a photo blow-up of Farley gets positioned. And I'm like, okay. And this is before we learn that Farley is Brad's twin brother. So, if we see this photo blow-up of Farley, aren't we just going to know that he looks exactly like Brad?
Yes, but it's also a Clark Kent thing.
Oh.
I've seen both characters, so I know how the actor plays them. One of them, the Farley character, has his hair slicked back, and he's like in a suit, and he's a businessman, and he looks very serious. The Brad version of him has glasses, has like, I think maybe even like a small afro. So he looks kind of different. He looks schlubby as Brad and like a businessman as Farley. So I think you can probably see it. I don't know if I saw it right away, but
Okay.
yeah, you might be able to see it easily if you see that blow up picture.
Okay.
Yeah. The Faith set, I mean, just spitballing here, I think it's just like getting to the logical end that this is like a cult. Like maybe TV in general is a cult. Yeah. And Farley's the cult leader, and this is their religious aspect of it that's coming in.
Okay. And on that note, he's the cult leader. He mentions, or someone mentions, how Janet is going to be hopefully the first of many Miss Mental Healths. A couple things about that. Why is she like Miss Mental Health? Like, why isn't she Miss Denton or Miss Dentonvale?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, is she the picture of mental health? Is that what he's saying? Like, somebody who's like subordinate to a man is like.
I don't know if that's the comment.
Or does she have lots of mental health issues, and so she's Miss Mental Health? I don't know. Either way, I also don't know why mental health is plural. Miss Mental Healths. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
yeah, for sure.
Going back to the cult thing, if she's supposed to be the first of many, is it safe to assume that this is going to be the pattern of Faith Factory in that they're going to continuously break up marriages? And is Farley going to marry each of them? Because it is insinuated that Farley is going to marry Janet when she is dressed in a half wedding gown, half American themed gown.
That's what they tried to do at the end. That's what he was going for.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to be his plan going forward. I think there's supposed to be background on this that Farley is jealous of Brad being his half brother. And so he wants to take everything that Brad has. So he wants to take Janet.
Yeah.
And then when Janet rejects him in the script, there's just another girl who's like, oh, I'll be your wife. And he's like, cool, you're my wife now.
Okay. So you don't think it would be a pattern?
I don't think it would be a pattern.
He's got a wife, and then everyone else is just going to be in the cult.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe he'll have a bunch of wives.
Okay.
That's a common cult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that called? Is that called a harem?
Polygamy? Oh, a harem, you mean? Yeah, okay. A harem. It might be a harem.
Maybe it's not. I think you're right with polyamory. Yeah.
I'm not sure though.
I feel like there's a word, like I thought it was maybe like when they have a bunch of concubines, but I thought there was a word for that.
Harem does go with concubine, like that makes sense. I'm not sure. Cool. Okay, well, Beck, I think we've kind of made our feelings known about this script.
Yeah.
What are you most excited to see from script to screen?
Okay, so if I have to choose something, then I'm going to say I'm excited to hear the songs. I want to know, I don't necessarily want to hear the lyrics, especially to that man song, obviously. But yeah, I just want to hear the music and see if it holds up to the music of Rocky Horror Picture Show. That is so iconic.
Mm-hmm. The music that you didn't necessarily like.
In Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah, well, you don't like that movie.
No, I don't like that movie. No, I don't like that movie. But like Time Warp. Time Warp is great. You know?
Mm-hmm. Time Warp is a classic, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I think I'm most excited for a couple of the songs, like Bitchin' in the Kitchen. And I'm excited to also see if the themes that we were talking about come across from script to screen, and that maybe some of the character and some of the meaning that is lost in the script will be portrayed in the screen, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's right. My fingers are definitely crossed. Is there anything else you wanted to say about Shock Treatment before we go?
No, let's do this.
Okay, let's go watch Shock Treatment. Okay, Beck, for today's mid-episode question, if you could change any actor to star in any film to really change the tone and style of that film, what actor would you change in what film?
Actually, I don't know. I mean, it would. Okay, so this would very much change the film, and I think that's what you're going for. So it could also possibly ruin it, or just make a second separate, completely amazing film as well. So that's an option. But let's see, Daniel Day-Lewis as the 40-year-old virgin.
And okay, how would he? Because we know he goes.
He's method.
He's method actor. Yeah. So how would he go method in that?
I mean, it might at that point be the 80-year-old virgin, because from the moment that he got cast, he'd be like, well, I have to not have sex for 40 years.
Sure. That would be a totally different guy at that point. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, he, like, at that point, he would just, like, slow down a bit anyway. Maybe he's been married for a while and they're not doing a lot anyway.
He'd get really into video games. Don't you want to see Daniel Day-Lewis play a video game?
To be honest, I'm not a big Daniel Day-Lewis guy.
Oh.
So that doesn't really excite me too much. But, like, would all the other roles stay the same? So Paul Rudd would be in it, Seth Rogen, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you already know that they can both do drama.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth Rogen, kind of.
Seth Rogen, kind of.
Well, he was in Take This Waltz, and I think that if I was going to recast something for the better and not for, like, completely change, I would do that. I would take Seth Rogen out of Take This Waltz and put somebody else in. Because I just felt like his crying scenes in the breakup were just not authentic in any kind of way. It was more like comedy for me watching those scenes than it was sadness. And Michelle Williams is just amazing, so it was like, yeah, you need somebody at her level to, like, really carry the weight of that. But that's not what this is about.
At the end of Take This Waltz, do you think, like, you have the exact same moments where she, like, goes to the carnival alone and she's happy? Do you think that happiness will eventually fade? Is that the message of the film? Like, no matter what, everything gets dull eventually? Or do you think that she'll, because now that she's on her own, that happiness will stay forever?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she, like, I think the message is that leaving somebody for, like, a passion is not necessarily better than being with somebody with less passion, who you have more things in common with, and who's you just have, like, a better, I don't know, relationship with. Like an affair is so exciting, and there's fireworks and that sort of stuff, and they had so much adventure and there was all of that sort of thing, but ultimately she goes back to her baking in cutesy ways, and that's who she is at her core, and that's not something that guy was interested in. He was interested in this passion and her sexiness, which she felt at sometimes she was missing from her husband, but everything else he gave her. So it's like you're leaving him for this one thing, but he's got everything else for you. So, yeah, I think that it's just, careful when you let, like, a fiery kind of passion. Don't let that, like, make your decisions for you, I would say. Yeah, I definitely think she's, like, unhappy and will continue to stay unhappy in that marriage at the end.
Does Daniel Day-Lewis have chest hair? Because he'll have to get it waxed, right?
Yeah. What is he going to scream? He's not going to scream Kelly Clarkson. What is Daniel Day-Lewis going to scream?
Who's going to be the big pop star at the time? It is like 40 years from now, or how many years from now? Well, you said 40 years
from now, it's still going to be Billie Eilish. She's just going to be like
Billie Eilish, yeah.
Yeah, but she's going to be like Madonna age, and she's She's
going to be kissing her Britney Spears.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe he'll say Billie Eilish.
Okay, fantastic. Is Billie Eilish considered a young Madonna?
No, but I was just saying that she would have the staying power that Madonna does.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good for her. And good for Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm glad, I think he's retired again, but, he's always retiring, so he'll come back for this.
He would definitely come back for this. The only reason he is still retired is because nobody has, like, offered him a comedic role that he can make somber.
It's true. Just to follow up, is in this universe where we've replaced Steve Carell with Daniel Day-Lewis, has the 40-year-old virgin never existed? So it's going to be like a new movie, or is this going to be a remake?
Oh God, I think both options are really funny.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it would just be so funny to have Daniel Day-Lewis in that comedy where everything else is the same. All the other characters are in, like, a Judd Apatow comedy, and he's in an Oscar-winning role.
I'd almost like it that he's gotten a little bit senile in time, and he starts doing lines and characters from different movies, and no one has the heart to tell him to stop.
You just play it. Just become some sort of weird, like, movie in a movie type thing.
Yeah, like he'll just start doing, like, was he called The Butcher? And he was Abe Lincoln. Wasn't he in Gangs of New York?
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
So yeah, he's just in these random roles, and he's just every now and then he's Abe Lincoln in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I'm here for it.
Let's go. And 7 years ago, I did not have sex. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's a good choice. Daniel Day-Lewis in anything, but in particular, 40-Year-Old Virgin. So, we're back, and we've just finished watching Shock Treatment.
That makes it sound like you were, I don't know, very excited about it.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe I am, Beck. We'll see soon enough. Yeah, we finished reading the script. We finished watching the film now. Now we have a chance to compare them, Beck. What did you think? Just initial thoughts about the film.
I was entertained, and just if I'm looking at the film by itself, I was like, oh, this is light and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the actress who played Janet. I very much liked her and preferred her, taboo, to Susan Sarandon.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's save that for later.
Okay.
Awesome. That's good to know. Okay, yeah. But you went away, in general, with a positive feeling from this film.
Easy. Yeah.
Oh, slow your roll, right?
It was like, not a positive, but it was just like kooky and kind of thing, but I would never watch it again, and I would have been happy having never seen it.
Mm-hmm. But you're okay with having seen it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll put that at 4.5 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I was overall not impressed with the film in general. I'm taking a lot of baggage from the script as well, but there were moments that I was also entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think the good outweighed the bad,
no.
But there was some good.
Yes.
Yeah, and more good than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into its comparison to the script then. How closely do you think it followed the script?
I think it followed the script exactly, but seeing it was much easier to follow than the script, I would say.
I agree. Do you think that it was a good thing that it followed the script so tightly? Do you think that it would have been better had it veered off in certain ways?
I mean, if it had been a different movie entirely, it probably would have been better.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe if it was the idea that they originally came up with it being a Rocky Horror Picture Show sequel where Brad is gay, that would have been a really cool story with all the same songs, and that would have all made sense. But it was, I don't know.
Yeah, it followed the script.
It followed the script.
It's good for what it was. Good's too strong a word, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
Man, does this follow the term damning with faint praise?
I have never heard that term, but I very much love it.
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta remember that one. That's a write that down moment.
Nice. So, just following along with that then, do you think that there were any scenes... this is such a hard question to answer. Any scenes that were missing that you think should have been in the script or in the film? In both, basically.
I mean, okay, so Bert Schnick can walk and see. Sorry.
He could always walk.
He could always walk. The cane threw me off. So he has the cane because he's blind. So eventually he can see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him being healed, or if that was all an act the whole time.
Yes, it was all an act.
So that was unclear to me.
Yeah, it was definitely not explicit, but there's the scene when he's checking in on Janet after they sleep in the prison, or in Dentonvale.
Right.
And he kind of he sneaks into the room, he calls out to her, but he's really excited because she's in the shower and he's going to get a chance to peek in on her.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other woman comes in and kind of hurries the situation along so he doesn't get a chance.
Nation comes in? Is that her name? Or the nurse?
Oh, you're right. Not the nurse, the Nation.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's switch gears then. We've kind of discussed the script to the film. It's kind of followed the exact same formula that the script had. And I think that's partly because we were reading the shooting script, so that would follow. What did you think about the casting then? Let's get right into Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, I much preferred this actress, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't write her name down. But I thought she was fantastic. I thought her singing ability, that was one thing that bothers me about Rocky Horror, is that, like, how high Susan Sarandon sings the whole time is, like, irritating to me. It's like a dog whistle that I can hear. And I'm like, oh, stop. But in this woman has such a range, and she would go so down low so often, and I found that really cool. Her name is Jessica Harper. Jessica Harper, you are fantastic. And I thought she was just, like, a lot more emotive, and maybe it's that her character was given, like, more to go because she turned from girl next door to kind of diva. But yeah, I just thought that she was really great. I thought she was very fantastic. And watching her be confused, but, like, try to figure out the situation, like, catch on a little bit, but then be like, wait, no, I want Brad. And then, like, go along with it and be like, no, wait, stop. Like, I really enjoyed that. I think she did it very well.
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah. Just, like, I basically don't enjoy Rocky Horror Picture Show because of Susan Sarandon. Is that too much? I don't know. I think she's a great actress, and I love her in everything else. I just don't want to hear her sing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, you were talking about the high voice of Susan Sarandon in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I actually really enjoyed the high voice of the nurse in this film.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her singing. I enjoyed her talking. I just enjoyed her character. So she only had that one point where she got to sing. Or she might have had 2 points, but the main one I'm talking about is when they're looking through the window and you get to see them passing from one window to the next, and they all sing a couple of lines for the song.
Yeah.
I really liked that moment, and I liked her singing.
She's also in Rocky Horror.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she's Columbia.
No, she's not Columbia.
Yeah, she for sure is Columbia.
Okay, no, you're thinking about the other person.
I'm 100% positive I am doing this right. She's Columbia. And Nation is Magenta. That's the confusion that you think I'm doing.
That's the confusion I think you're doing, for sure.
Yeah, no. The nurse is Columbia.
Okay, let's see. So, Nell Campbell. I hate you, Becca. I hate you so much. Let's move on.
Yeah. But now, doesn't that make sense? So now that you hear her high singing in this, and then thinking of that, like, evil wink.
Yeah, well, I did like her in Rocky Horror as well.
Yeah.
She was good in both films. And I liked her role in Rocky Horror more, but I enjoyed her singing in Shock Treatment more.
Yeah.
Yeah, her role's really cool in Rocky Horror. She has that love interest. She goes against Frankenfurter or whatever his name is.
Yes.
Because he killed her love interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed her role, but in Shock Treatment, I enjoyed her singing. Her role was fine, but...
No, she doesn't have a role.
She doesn't really have a role. It's
she's
true.
Just like the almost naked, like, eye candy. Mm-hmm. Literally, yeah. She was just like...
I didn't want to take anything away from her, but that's fair. That's a very fair assessment. Any other casting in this film that you liked?
I mean, Betty and Oliver were fun. I liked when they were on screen. That was fun. And I also thought that the actor who did Brad Farley was pretty good. Even when Brad sings the first time, I was like, oh no, they couldn't find like a better singer. And then when he sings as Farley, he's actually very good. And I was like, oh, character choice. Cool. I appreciated it.
Yeah, he really tried to play up the schlubbiness of Brad.
Yeah.
Even
which
from the beginning.
Catatonic than like schlubby, it seems.
Right. Even before he's on drugs and he can't clap to the song. No one is that much offbeat. Oh man. Well, just talking about casting, I was looking things up. Did you know that the guy who played Bert, Barry Humphries, is Australia's own Dame Edna?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I did not, but obviously that makes so much sense. Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's wearing so much makeup too. Great. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. We, as kids, know too much about Dame Edna, or probably we're nobody else knows who we're talking about right now.
No? Okay, I just assumed everyone knew who Dame Edna was.
I mean, I think like in Canada, maybe she was on Just for Laughs like one time, but I don't think that was as big as it was in our household that
Okay.
her show was.
Well, for me, like I don't know her humor, or I don't know if she identifies as a him or her. To be honest, I think that might be just a character.
Yeah, it's just a character.
Yeah, so I don't know his humor too much. I just know him as that character, and I just assumed that he was famous around the world.
Right.
Yeah, because he was so big in our household.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he is famous, but like,
Yeah.
I bet if I pooled all my friends and asked them if they knew who that was, maybe 20% of them would know.
Oh, wow. That's a shock for me.
Oh, speaking of Bert, though, every time he was on screen, all I could think of was Gary Oldman's character in The Fifth Element with that hair.
Oh, sure. That kind of swoops down.
Yeah, that like black, like lopsided bowl cut that's like super shiny and straight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Beck, if we're done with the characters, did you want to say anything about the casting or the characters in general then?
Actually, I think this falls in with characters. There's a line in the opening song that I didn't notice when we read the script, but it came out very loudly for me when I watched it. They say there's tolerance for the ethnic races in Denton. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm certain that there are only white people in this movie. I was like 100% positive. I was wrong. There were 3 black people.
There you go.
And 1 brown guy. So, representation. Great.
As long as you're admitting you're wrong.
I am fully wrong.
Yeah.
That's terrible representation. Just for the record.
What?
And also tolerant. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a commentary, right?
Okay, so I hope so. Because I was like,
I hope so too,
for
yeah.
people who are so supportive and they lift up the like queer community so much, I'm surprised that you would be like kind of racist like that. But if it is a commentary, then great.
Yeah, I think the entire thing is supposed to be a commentary.
Okay.
And they're supportive of the queer community partly because I think some of them are queer.
Yeah.
For sure. None of the directors or writing staff, I'm sure, are of any other race than white.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree with you.
But Beck, they're tolerant. Okay. So let's move on from characters then, and let's just go into the movie in general, starting with the music. How did you like the music? Because this is a musical, so the music plays such a big role in this film.
I mean, I liked a couple of the songs, and I hated one, and then I was like lukewarm about the other ones. I think the one I enjoyed the most was the Shock Treatment song, like the title song.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I obviously hated Thank God I'm a Man. And then the rest I was like, okay. How did you feel about the songs?
I was lukewarm to the songs as well, in general. Shock Treatment was fine. I liked the last song. I actually had that song in my music playlist before watching this movie. It's partly how I discovered this movie.
Oh,
yes.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked, I don't think the lyrics mean anything. I don't know what the lyrics are supposed to mean in that song, but I just like the tune of it.
That was one of my questions.
Yeah.
That was one of my questions.
I think so many of these songs, they just mean nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bitchin' in the Kitchen disappointed me.
Did it?
Yeah, it felt like it came out of nowhere in the film, and I didn't really get any meaning from it. Not the meaning I was injecting into it when I was reading the script.
Right. But did you like when they said micro digital awaker instead of alarm clock?
No, I didn't notice. I'm sorry. But you clearly got a really kick out of that, eh?
I did. I was like, you are trying to make this fit into like refrigerator. So you turned it into this super long thing. I thought it was funny.
That is fun. I'm going to disappoint you in just saying that I really like the tune to Thank God I'm a Man.
Okay.
Just the tune.
Great.
If we could take away the words and just have that tune and be like, this is a good song.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. I think, though, my favorite song, and it was just because of the moment, I just like the way it was shot I brought this moment up before. It was going between the windows. I like the way that was shot, and so it made me enjoy that song more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a fun scene. I was wondering, like, what song did they think was going to be as popular as Time Warp? Like,
I would assume it would be Shock Treatment.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that one, or maybe the Zip Zip Snip Snip one. I don't know, because it was like fun. It was fun too.
It was fun.
And like easy to sing, and it had like actions, because I know like Time Warp has those actions, so I was like, oh, this song kind of does too with your like scissors or whatever.
You've got a good point there. I feel like it suffers from the same problem that Anyhow suffers from, the last song, in that it seems to be about nothing. It's just about wearing a dress or liking a dress and making a dress. And it doesn't seem to have any point in the film.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have already said that Anyhow has no point in the film. Mm-hmm. But also, like, it like goes against story at that point. Like, they keep saying, we're going to do it anyhow. We're going to do it anyhow. So I was trying to find meaning, and I was like, oh, okay, they're going to leave. They're going to leave. We're going to get out. We're going to do it. We're going to go. But then they're like staying on the stage singing. And I was just like, you were just held captive? Get the fuck out. Like, go. Stop singing.
They are escaping, though. I mean, they're singing while they escape.
So slowly. Yeah. They're like, they go and sing in the bleachers, and then they go and sing on the sets, and then they like dance their way towards the car. Like, run. Just run.
I mean, if I'm trying to get any meaning out of that song, I think it means more that you're going to live your life just any way that you can.
Okay.
But, like, they don't state that at any point, and it doesn't follow from whatever came right before it, so I don't know.
And then the Faith Factory song, too, is, what was it called? Breaking Out? And so Oscar sings this Breaking Out song, and it's about coming out of the closet, and that's, like, the big first song on Faith Factory, the, like, show that they were premiering where Janet's going to be, like, he's just the lead singer of the band.
Okay.
Yeah. He's talking about coming out of the closet, and I was like, okay, that's definitely from 100% the original storyline where Brad is gay, for sure. But also, what a weird place to put it. Like, just on Faith Factory, I don't know. It was just very random, too.
No, it's true, because you associate faith, at least Christianity, with being very anti-gay. Yeah, definitely. Let's leave the music behind. Let's just talk about the movie then. What did we like about the movie?
I only liked it because I thought that it was so ridiculous, but I liked all of Farley's like office scenes because they were all filmed. A lot of it was filmed to camera, but he was like filmed to camera as if he was like, as if the camera was the TV screen that he was watching everything happen on. And you could tell that all of those were filmed in like 30 minutes. And the director was just like, okay, lick your lips. Now do the gun. Now laugh a bunch. Now be sad. You know, like all of that was filmed just rapid fire. And I just thought it was so cheesy and entertaining.
It legit just made me feel like this guy's creepy as all hell. Like, not only is he just watching people, but now he's licking his lips as he watches people.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question of that. Like, when in real life has anyone ever done that? Like, especially a guy. I just don't get it. And why are you doing that? Like, I don't get it. Seeing him do it so exaggerated, I was like, wait a second. I don't think I've ever seen this except for on TV.
Yeah.
I don't really get what it's for. I don't know.
We've never been in boardrooms or...
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. As soon as we do, that's all people will ever see.
Yeah. I also found it funny when Bert has to contact Farley. I was like confused because it happened so fast. But does he contact him on his cane? Does he turn his cane into like a walkie-talkie?
It was very much like a Batman 60s kind of thing.
Yeah. I was like, when did this be? When was that the thing? I don't get it. It would have been cool if they had like weird gadgets the whole time, but they don't. It's just
yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. Okay, so anything else you liked about the film? No. That's fair.
Yeah.
For me, I like the opening shot where you start out on Farley and then they pull out through the heart And you kind of get an idea of that's where Farley is. I kind of did like that Farley was up there, just above the audience. I enjoyed that concept. I don't know why it was a heart, but I didn't mind that. Maybe that has some kind of symbolism.
Wasn't it for the dating show or no? Oh no, that was Marriage Maze, so it wasn't a heart. Yeah, I don't know.
It was just always there, and that's it. Kind of like not transparent, but I think you could partly see through it. You could see his shadow through it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was supposed to symbolize. Maybe that he was in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Farley Flavors commercial at the beginning with the kids. What does F stand for?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very 80s, 90s, or maybe 70s, those kind of commercials.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then there's one part where there's one joke. So Bert is making fun of Brad when they initially get them onto the stage.
Yep.
And Bert's talking to Janet, making fun of Brad, and he calls Brad an emotional cripple. Yes. And then a second or two later, Brad laughs as if he gets the joke, but also as if he's trying to prove that he has emotion, but clearly showing that he is an emotional cripple in a way. And so I kind of liked that.
Do you think that was planned, or that he laughed at the right time and then the editor was just like, we're going to add a space here?
I don't know. I think it was probably planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So those were my 3 likes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, what did you not like, Beck?
I was surprised that we saw Farley early on. When I was reading the script, I thought that we were always going to see him from behind, so we didn't know that they were twins. And kind of like in an Inspector Gadget sort of way, like who's the bad guy? And then a big reveal at the end. But yeah, seeing him, knowing that it was the same actor as Brad the whole time, I felt like it gave too much away. So I didn't like that.
Do you think that you would have known that had you not known that he was the same actor?
Oh, because before, right, we talked about it and I knew. Would I have been able to tell? I mean, it was just like glasses and unjailed hair versus gelled hair.
It's true.
Yeah, I would have been
Brad,
able to tell.
Yeah, I mean, Brad never licks his lips like that, so...
Yeah, fair. There was one scene where Janet was sleeping and she has like a cocktail. She's holding a martini and she fell asleep with it in her hands. And then Nation comes in and there's just like a lemon that has fallen between Janet's legs. And Nation grabs it and eats it. And I was like, oh, did we need that? I don't think we needed that. So I didn't enjoy that. And yeah, those were my like 2 main ones that I was like, nope. How about you?
Okay, I'm going to name one main one, and then just a general feeling. My main one is when Bert gets Janet and Brad up on the stage.
Yeah.
It was so much like bullying when he was joking at Janet, but also like pushing her to just accept anything he says, and the way he was just outright bullying Brad. It was just so much that I know that that's what his character was supposed to do, and that was part of the story. But it was just so much that I was turned off completely from that scene. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like watching this.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, and here's actually, I'm going to add in a new one as well. I don't like that Janet got brainwashed. I don't think that they had a justification for it. It feels like they had a song, and by the end of the song, she's brainwashed.
Yeah.
And then later on, there's her parents are annoyed with the way that they're treating Brad. And her parents are also like not happy with the situation. But then they sing the shock treatment song and suddenly the parents are on board again.
Right.
I just don't get it. The song didn't even have anything to do with getting them on board. It was just, we sang a song, so now you're part of the crew again.
Right.
It made no sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would say the whole time the reasoning was like very loose. It was just kind of, okay, don't think about it. Just keep going. Just don't think about it. Even initially their participation, like going onto the show. Brad says to Janet, I don't want to go. And Janet's like, I mean, we have to because Bert already made all the arrangements. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Nope.
He says to you, play or pass. You could just say pass.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're touching on my last complaint, the big one, and the one that we had with the script as well. Just nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
The story just goes along, and there are fun moments, but it in general doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I did write down, I definitely understand it way more by watching it, but that being said, I don't understand it at all.
Okay. I wrote down, I'm no closer to understanding this movie after watching it.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. It was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So can we get to the end then? Are we happy with our evaluation of Shock Treatment?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Well, Beck, which one do you think is better, the script or the film?
Okay, so my written down answer is neither ? I guess the movie. So yeah, because like I said, I did kind of follow it a little bit more by seeing it, whereas in the script I didn't really understand where they were on the set and how the sets connected. So yeah, seeing that was more enjoyable or less unenjoyable, let's say, of the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I am going to go along with you and say that the film was better, even though that's not exactly what you said. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with the film is better just because the script was just nonsense and you didn't get any feeling from the script, but the film, at least I had fun moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Shock Treatment done. It was a bit of a trial, but they can't all be gold.
Right. Oh, I just want to say one thing that doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, our evaluation of the movie, but I do want to say when I was looking stuff up on IMDb, the DVD cover is Cosmo's character, and that's Richard O'Brien. It's just like a real close-up of his face, and he's one of the co-writers of the movie, and I just thought that was like an obviously vain choice to do, because his character is by no means the main character and is by no means like he is essential to the story, but he doesn't make any of the big shifts in it. So I was like, you just put your face on this because you wanted to have your face on this movie. Interesting.
Probably. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Yeah. He did get a Corvette at the end. And if you're looking at it in this way, him and Nation, they are the only ones that came out of this without losing, right? Okay. They got everything that they wanted. They have more patience. They're going to get more money. They have a Corvette.
True.
They never lost.
It's true.
Farley lost. Yeah.
And even with Oliver figuring it out that they have been these people with different aliases, they're character actors all over the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't get in trouble for it. He just saves Brad and Janet and Janet's parents and then leaves everyone else to suffer.
No, Janet's parents stay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they're at the end, they're like clapping along with everyone else, and her mother is disappointed that Janet gave up this great opportunity. Right. And the father's like, stop, forget about her, let's watch a star. Because this other woman comes up.
Yeah, the documentary filmmaker. Mm-hmm. Macy or something? Yeah. Wild.
It's a strange film. We just need a song to get on board with it, Beck. That's what it is. If they sang a song to us, would completely change our tune.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so that was Shock Treatment. Beck, what are we doing next week?
We're doing Sofia Coppola's The Beguiled.
Beguiled. Ooh, how beguiling.
I don't know what that means, so I'm excited to read this.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this will be fun. Maybe. I don't know if Sofia Coppola is known for her fun.
Yeah, just she's known for thinkers, isn't she?
Yeah, more thinkers.
For like emotional kind of turmoil?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking too, emotional turmoil. But there are fun moments. The only one that I can bring to mind, the only film, is... Lost
in Translation.
Yeah, thank you. So there was fun moments in that, but emotional turmoil for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we'll see you next week then.
See, later.
Later.